0, 1. Let's get started.
Hi guys, come on, let's talk about the teaching of Wilson High School.
Hi, I'm Mr. Seattle.
And I'm Tori, and the first question is, what classes do you teach?
CP, Personal Finance, International Business, and Microsoft.
When did you start working at Wilson High School, and what made you want to work here?
In 2021, and I grew up in the area, so I kind of knew, that the school district it was just a good place to be.
What was a teacher you looked up to when you first started working here?
Mr. Peterson, he's kind of like my work dad. And then I got Mr. Godfrey, he's a good friend of mine. And then if Mr. Peterson can't figure it out, I usually go to Raffle.
How many years have you been teaching?
This will be my 9th year. Yeah, 9th year.
And last question is, what's a skill you learned in high school that you still use today? Keyboarding, all right, because I know we have a bunch of high school kids that still peck. All right, so keyboarding definitely, and then I wish we had personal finance.
Hi, I'm Mr. Raffoff.
To start off this interview, the first question is, what classes do you teach?
Right now, I teach anatomy and physiology. That's what I have all day.
Okay, when did you start working at Wilson High School, and what made you want to work here?
So I graduated from Wilson, but I moved to Wilson my junior year of high school, so I didn't live here my whole life, but I got hired here right after student teaching, and that kind of, one thing led to another. But I've been teaching here since January of 2008, so a long time, yeah.
Okay, what was a teacher you looked up to when you first started working here?
There were a few. Mr. Doms was definitely one of them. He was my AP biology teacher. And just being a science teacher, I was across the hall from him sometimes, and so that helped a little bit. And another one was probably Mrs. Taylor. She was my English teacher when I moved here, and so I just have great memories of that class, and just kind of how kind she was and helpful to someone who was new at this school.
Okay, total, how many years have you been teaching?
It'll be 17 and a half in a couple weeks.
Wow. Okay, last question is, what's a skill you learned in high school that you still use today?
I think a big one is just the idea of being able to interact with people. As a teacher or in a lot of professions or jobs, being able to interact with people even if you don't necessarily want to that day, or things like that. People have meetings or clients that they don't necessarily want to deal with, but sometimes that's what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
Mr. Dalbert.
And the first interview question is, what classes do you teach?
I teach 10th grade America and the World, and CP Psychology and CP Sociology.
When did you start working at Wilson High School, and what made you want to work here?
I actually graduated from Wilson, proud class of 1996, and I started teaching in in 2004.
Wow. Okay, what was a teacher you looked up to when you first started working here?
Mr. Kunkel. He was my old social studies teacher.
Was he still here when
Yes, he
Wow.
was.
Okay, how many years have you been teaching?
Total, I've been teaching 20-something. I actually started at Daniel.
Okay. Last question is, what's a skill you learned in high school, and how do you still use it today?
I think in high school I was really encouraged to take chances and risks, and that's something that I still utilize today.
That's good.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, my name's Mr. P, Mr. Puglisi. I'm Brody, and guys, we're going to do our interview. So, what classes do you teach? I teach all CP biology. When did you start working at Wilson High School, and what made you want to work here? I started working this year. This is my first year teaching, okay? And I wanted to teach, right, and come back and make a difference here because I went to school here. I'm very familiar with the area and the other teachers and the community. What was the teacher you looked up to when you first started working here?
Okay, so I have two different answers. The teacher that I looked up to most when going here was Mr. Daubert, and the teacher that I look up to now currently is Mr. Raffoff.
What's a skill you learned in high school that you still use today?
Just perseverance, right? If you are unsure about something or how to do something, right, keep working at it and eventually it'll work out.